Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and the slider adjustment from last game definitely helped. We definitely saw some results against Purdue, and don't think that Purdue's a bad team, because remember when I showed you all the ratings of all the Big Ten teams? They were actually rated above us. They had a higher rated offense than us, and I mean, they're not bad. So usually with the default rosters they are bad, but with these updated rosters with new names and updated ratings, I mean, they're obviously a better team. So let's just look at our recruiting board before hopping into this next game. We're going up against Illinois. Dwayne Kelly, our top recruit here, 76 overall. Looks like we pretty much, it's 50% locked. Let's just see if he's scheduled a visit yet. So no, let's schedule a visit for him. It's actually scheduled this late visit here, week 14 versus Penn State. Let's have him come that week. That way we get the most points there. Let's see next. Kenny Green is our next guy. So it looks like we're actually first on his list now, and I don't know what changed, because we've been second for a while and now we're first. So now he's scheduled for a visit for week 14 as well. Remember, he's a 78 overall safety, definitely a guy we can use. Look at his press rating is 97. That is just ridiculous. Jason Russell is another athlete, but we are behind 2,790. So let's actually remove him from the board. We'll probably add somebody later. Marcus Wright, a defensive tackle. We're down 1,000 to this guy. We do have the visit coming up week 9. We probably should have made that later, because if you have a later visit you get more points. Harold Brewer, the next athlete, 470. He's 96% locked. We don't get the last laugh with him either. Week 10 visit. The latest visit is week 14. Will Jenkins, the kicker. Looks like we pretty much got him wrapped up. Curtis Tolbert, we're second behind in him. Let's put both of these tackles to 600 to ensure that we get them. He's coming to week 14, which is good. He's coming to week 14. I hope they don't see it as a competitive visit, which they probably do since they're the same position, but we needed to schedule. That's the only real home game we have late in the season, week 14. Kyle Harvey is another free safety we have. He looks like a pretty good player, 91 speed, 91 excel. Looks like we're in the lead for him. And then a tight end here, and then Jeremy Stallings, the center, to round it off. And then we got Garen Dukes here, which we haven't even give any points to, and we're still ahead by 700. So we should probably give him some points. Let's put him at 200, because we don't really need a receiver, but I mean, it's nice to have a guy that we can go to in recruiting and say we have another receiver. So we probably are going to look at some other prospects on the board, since we have quite a few points to use up still. So I'll do that off cameras, but let's just get into this gameplay, man. I'm willing to. Actually, you know what? I missed this. Alton Fritz, the number 6 middle linebacker, he committed to our school as well. So we got our first commit. But like I said, let's just hop into this gameplay. I'll show you guys the recruiting board of who I add next week, coming up in the next couple episodes. So let's just get into it, man. Rivalry game versus Illinois, back-to-back rivalry games actually. So let's get into it. Let's go.
Man, Illinois has just never been good. I mean, they have just squandered their program. And look at this, man, right on cue. Just horrible quarterback play that time. Richie Simmons there for the interception. And remember, in my dynasty, Lovie Smith got fired after 1 season. Then they hired Greg Schiano, and right off the bat, it doesn't look like it's making any difference, because they're throwing an interception on the first drive. So Fleming takes over here, rolling out to the right. Pay attention to this play. Fleming goes down on the first possession, the third play of this game on offense for us, and he goes down. So who takes over? Our former starter, Peyton Ramsey. And look at that. He is throwing. That was probably a lucky pass there, in between 2 defenders, behind somebody's back. Look at this. Just look at the replay here. The defender had his back turned, was going a different direction, but Dave Ferguson stays alive. But look at this. Broken ribs for Josh Fleming, out for the next 4 weeks. So Peyton Ramsey gets his job back, and he's got to fill some big shoes, because Fleming has been doing nothing but killing for us. I'm surprised he hasn't been on the Heisman watch at all, because, man, he's been our leader for sure. But luckily, we get a nice tune-up game here for Ramsey. We're going up against a weak Illinois team, and Baby Gronk straight destroys a defender, running him over, and he just laid on the ground, didn't even get up. And Devontae Williams getting the ball up the middle, and he's finishing off the drive, the 1-yard touchdown run. And, man, Peyton Ramsey, this offense is going to look pretty much the same, though, with Ramsey there, because, remember, he ran this offense not as good as Fleming did, but he ran this offense pretty well. But one thing that we'll have to hopefully get an improvement on is his accuracy. But here early in this game, he's showing some accuracy, throwing to Joe Richard, and here he's giving the ball off to Tasir Mack on the end around. Tasir Mack's dragging a defender down to the 10-yard line. So on a 2nd and 10, Ramsey's gonna roll out left, and you know he's got wheels too. He's gonna dive into the end zone, and Peyton Ramsey gets in for the touchdown. And something that, you know, he did a lot of, which was run, but he didn't do it to the tune of what Josh Fleming does. But look at this lucky throw. They throw all the way downfield, down 21-0 at the start of the second quarter. They throw down the field, and their quarterback, George Jr., finds Green. And look at another dropped interception, this time by Raekwon Jones. Burgess is usually the one that's notorious for dropping interceptions, but this time it's Raekwon Jones. And we take over here, and we just continue to move the ball in this Illinois offense. And it's 21-3, driving inside the red zone, throwing out to the flat, finding Baby Gronk. They're getting past the cornerback on that one, getting the 9-yard reception there. So on the 2nd and 7, Ramsey's going to drop back to pass, find Devontae Williams in the flat there. I'm going to attempt to run the defender over, and that's funny because I think size really does matter on how well you can run over defenders, because Joe Richard runs over defenders with ease, and Devontae Williams, I try to do it, but he just can't do it. But here he's getting a touchdown reception. He's just added another dynamic to his game here. He wasn't really much of a pass catcher his first 2 seasons. Now in his 3rd season with us, he gets a couple of touchdown passes on the year. And here the Illinois quarterback, George Jr., is going to attempt to throw to the sideline there, but Riggins is there for the near interception on the sideline. That would have been a tough interception, but he does deflect the ball. So now it's 20-3. And if you look at my play clock pretty soon, I think I started in the 3rd quarter. I just start running chew clock, because this is just getting on his ham as Michael Wilson gets in for the 22-yard reception. And it is 35-3 here, and Illinois just trying to just do something on offense, throwing the ball deep. This time Burgess does deflect it, so no more Hail Mary, no more vertical passes for them. And look at the play clock. This is where I start to run the clock, because I'm just like, man, look at this. But another huge play. This time Dave Ferguson is getting the triple option. And look at that pitch. That was in the middle of traffic, and Dave Ferguson keeps up with it, and he gets in for the long touchdown. And not something you see every day from my slot guy, getting in for a rushing touchdown. But, I mean, hey, when things are working, everything's clicking. It's 42-3 at the start of the 3rd quarter. It's not even like the end of the 3rd quarter. It's the start of the 3rd quarter. Illinois just has a horrible team, but they are attempting to show a little sign of life here. George Jr. is going to drop back, find Green. Look at the initial routes aren't open. It's the extending the plays routes that are working for them up to this point, and he's finding Smalling here. But look at our first 5 drives, our last 5 drives. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. I mean, we are just destroying them on offense, and Dave Ferguson's getting another triple option. I want to see what he can do with the ball in his hands in a triple option. I think I'm going to start using that a lot more often, because that 75-yard run, he straight up just turned on the Jets, got into the end zone, and here we're finding Tasir Mack over the middle of the field, and Tasir Mack continuing to do Tasir Mack things, getting in for the touchdown. As you can see, Peyton Ramsey's 13 for 17, 4 touchdowns. I mean, this is unlike Ramsey. Maybe it's because we're playing such a bad team, but he's showing some great accuracy in this game, and you know, he's got some big shoes to fill as he finds Dave Ferguson there on the swing pass. So on a 1st and 10, throwing over the middle, this time finding Watt Fillier. Remember, I told you a couple games ago I was going to get him more involved, and that's exactly what I'm doing here because he's proven to be a pretty good receiver. And Dave Ferguson keeping his feet in bounds for the 6-yard reception, and it's 56-10 at this point, and we're just laying it on Illinois, finding Paul Stone for the 17-yard touchdown reception. That time it was thrown by Nick Tronti. I'm getting my third stringers in there. And to add insult to injury, Calvin McDuffie finally getting in on defense, getting his first interception of his career on Jeff George Jr. He played that one pretty well. He used that speed to catch up to it. And under a minute left, one last time, George Jr. attempting to throw to the sideline, and Lane is going to be there for the interception. And that's going to do it for this one. I mean, this was just a straight blowout from start to finish. Raheem Lane finishes it off here, and we're going to go on to win this game 70-10. And Peyton Ramsey takes over, and he throws 5 touchdowns, only 4 incomplete passes. Devontae Williams gets 99 yards on the ground. He doesn't even need to get that many carries because look at the wealth. I mean, we are distributing the ball to everybody on the ground, through the air. Look at everybody's touching the ball. And I mean, if this is the formula we have to use to keep going on offense, then we're going to keep doing it. Just keep spreading the ball out. And I mean, our superstars will show up when it matters. But I mean, right now we're winning games off of pure just everybody touching the ball, and our defense dominates in this one. They can't do anything on offense, and maybe this is a testament to sorry Illinois rather than good Indiana, because it was never a contest from the start. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. We'll be back for the next episode. Let's get it.